Why is that not? You got anything coming?
Nope.
3 waiting scheduled for.
There we go. There we go. We're on.
Eh?
We're on.
You got it, have you?
Yeah.
Well, it's not come up mine. There's Jackie. I know Papa Patchy in the beer. Mel Veg and Flowers. Hi.
Rob's here. Yeah.
Roxy. Is that your sister, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
All right. Good wave to Jackie. I don't know why it's not coming up on mine.
You might have to go watch it as a guest.
Yeah, well, I'm logged on as somebody. I don't know why it's got scheduled for 11:29 on the 29th of the 11th at 8:51. Oh well, whatever. I'll just have to look at it on here. There's Mark.
Yeah, I can read through some of the comments anyway.
Yeah.
Just about.
I'm just going to spend all day doing this. Hello, what's going on? There's Rob's in. That is today, Pete. It is today. There's Linda. Was it you and Rob, Linda, that spoke to it's not Ali, is it? It's someone else, not Ali. What's she called? Eli. Oi, Jimmy's here. It's Friday night. It's onion night. It's early. Oh my Lord. His bowl Pete. Yeah. Pete and Eli, that's it, Jimmy, yeah. See, Linda, us Celts got to stay together, you see. Some of the nicest people on the planet, obviously. No, I not spoke to her. All right. It's my bald head, see. So Of course, Glenn's here. Get on, Glenn. How's the house move going? Righty. I've got. That's because I've got my special light for enhanced viewing. Hang on, I'll turn it down to. No, not that. Hang on. Warmer. There we go. So you get a warmer glow. It's like being by the fire. Is that better? Oh, there's Jane. And Ian's Onion Channel. Oh, yeah. So you got your own special channel now for your onions.
Channel dedicated just to onions.
Just his onions, yeah.
I like it. Ian, is that box that you've built, is that outside? Have you seen it?
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, on the picture of a model. Onion dedication.
No, it's in my tunnel. Right, okay. It looked like it was outside in one of your videos. I was just a bit concerned with the electrics.
How well does the heater cable work, Ian? Onions are us. I know. I know Linda was asking about heated propagators and what our thoughts were on heated propagators, because you've got one, haven't you? You got that the Super 7 one,
I've
haven't
got
you?
the Garland Super 7 heated propagator, but there's no thermostat. There's nothing to indicate what the temperature is or control what the temperature is on it. It's not the best, really. But
Yeah. Was it?
Thermostat that I've got for the heat mats, that's got 2 plug sockets on it, so I just plug it into that.
Yeah.
Keeps
Was
it
it?
at steady temperature.
How long are you putting those under lights? Oh, that's a. Everybody's got their own ideas on that. Do you mean within 24 hours or number of months?
At the moment, mine is still on for 24 hours and will be probably until January.
Yeah, I think you can get them, Linda, but an alternative would be a heat mat, because you can. I mean, Jimmy's just done a video and he's got some heat mats he got off Temu, and they've got a thermostat on them.
$7.99, you can't go wrong for that.
I know.
Cheaper
Whoa.
than an electric blanket.
Yeah, Rob's will be on 24 hours once he picks them out.
Rob knows what he's doing, so
Yeah. Well, it was Rob who told me about the Elsay seeds, because I haven't been able to get any seed from anywhere else this year.
no, yeah, it's been a tough one. But even that, looking at everyone else, all the other big bros, they've still got plenty of plants, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah. I know John Salisbury, he's going to put all his to plant, and then he'll sell his plant come January, February time, won't he, I expect?
Yeah. Probably for double the price.
Yeah. Temu's a dangerous place. Yeah. But I do love my Temu watering can, I must admit. It's quite odd getting something that it just seems to pour nicely. It's it's just me. What is Temu? Yeah, just because you got money, just bought a new bloody Vitapod, Mr. Mark. His decisions just no France rather.
Jimmy, I agree with you there, mate. Definitely. I think it's all
Yeah.
so they can get the most out of what they've got.
Oh, Kez
Definitely.
here. That's nice. Cracking gardening t-shirts. Christmas gift to me, Pete. Yeah. Yeah. All I get is a nectarine for my Christmas present in my stocking. I might get a pull of cracker if I'm lucky. Love Temu for cheap seedling pots. Yeah, are those silicone ones that you've got, Glenn? Are they from Temu? I've seen you using with the push-up bottoms. They look pretty good.
Are they the knockoff of the Charles Dowding ones?
I don't know. Still new to me, trying to grow the heavy onions. Well, you got a good setup for it, Ian. You should do well, Matt. I'm getting an onion. Oh, they're from Amazon. Whoa. 10 Peter Glazer plants, 10 for 40 quid. The tea bag pots. You mustn't go tea bagging your vegetables, Glenn. That's not a good look, mate. Oh, well, we better get down actually talking about something. And I think most people's here now. What have we got here? We've done Linda's heated propagators. I don't know if anybody else knows of a heated propagator that has got a thermostat built into it, rather than having to buy a separate thermostat and like a 2-plug setup. That's what you've got now, isn't it?
Yeah, the 2-plug setup. It's all run off one thermostat. But it works, don't get me wrong, but it's 2 separate purchases. Narrows it down to 1 plug, but
yeah. So where's the thermostat to? Is that in the soil or in the?
It's just on a probe. You can stick it to wherever you want. Yeah.
Right. Was it James? Mine are 18 hours. May given 24 goes. How's Joe's onions doing, Jane? Only Matt's carry the thermostat mainly. That's handy to know. Yeah, because I see Jimmy. You obviously saw what I said about putting some Celotex underneath that helps to reflect it back up. I actually think that was your idea, Glenn, wasn't it? I saw it on your channel, putting the Celotex underneath it. Are we all using fans? I pretty much think we are, aren't we?
The fan is a must, really. It strengthens the plant. As you can see, there's a few people where they haven't had fans on them and their plants are drooping, falling over. They're going to need supporting. Seen Jimmy and Alison, they cut theirs. But if the plant's strong enough from the get-go, they wouldn't need to do that.
Amber Ruse? It's a new one on me. Hi, Amber. Yeah, I use fans for seedlings. Yeah, I nicked that off you as well, I think, Glenn. I get all my good ideas off Glenn. Fan on when the lights are on. See, how long if you got your fan on for, Don?
24 hours.
It's on. All right, just a light breeze all the time.
Yeah, but it's oscillating. It's not direct in one spot all the time.
Yeah, I got an oscillating one because my niece is in. Because I must admit, that first lot of plants that you planted up that were in the modules, the roots on them looked really good.
That's the mycorrhizal fungi.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned that, because I was going to pop mine on tonight, but doing this, I'm just a bit concerned. You can almost tell by looking at them as plants that the roots aren't quite going to be at the position yours were.
Yeah. It's one of them. You don't want to do it too early. You want them to get established in the pot that they're in as well, don't you? But as soon as you start seeing that the roots are going round the pot, you know it's starting to get pot bound. And if it keeps wrapping round, that's when it'll have trouble spreading when you put it in the next pot.
Yeah, because those ones that I potted on that I panicked about, I saw roots coming out the bottom, and I think it was Mark had a good idea of putting them on top of another lot of compost, so they could just stay in that pot for a bit longer and get a bit more strength to them before he potted them on.
That'll be your one taproot that's come out the hole at the bottom. That won't be feeder roots coming off that one taproot at that point. You know, it'll be a single root, won't it? And if you go putting that on top of more compost, you're going to damage it when you remove it.
Right.
Break that root.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If you've got too much root growth coming out the hole at the bottom, when it comes to taking it out, you're going to damage it, pulling it through the holes. So,
good point. Good point.
I recommend that, really.
Hi, Sean. Sorry, sort of talking to Duncan. I can't do two things at once. Typical bloke. So, hello, Sean, and Stacey as well. I must mention Stacey so she doesn't batter me. Bye. Okay. Bye. It was a pleasure, but I have to go. All right.
You're welcome, mate.
Yeah. So, how long will you keep yours under lights for?
Probably until March. But I'll start bringing them out during the day, and then I'll try and replicate daytime hours. Try and bring it down to daytime hours slowly. And then once I'm happy that they can stay out in the polytunnel, I'll leave them out. Usually end of February, March.
Right, so that's a long time under lights, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dedication. You know, you think your peppers and all that are under a long time, and you don't start them until the end of January, February. You know, starting the giant onions off in October, November. It's adding an extra 3 months on, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Sean's team no light. So, I mean, the no light growers have got it easy, really, haven't they? Stick them in Boxing Day and just let them get on with it.
Well, after I pricked the last lot out, the Elsays out, there's 4 or 5 left in the tray. I've just left them in the polytunnel. I don't know if they're going to be all right to do with the no lights or what. But
depends how big they are. If they look like they're going to win, then no. Linda asked, what brand of mycorrhizal do you use, Duncan? Do you use the Q4 as well, the Vitax?
Q4 all the time. I should be getting sponsored by the stuff by now. I'm sure I've turned a lot of people onto the Q4.
Yeah, I think I got it from watching you, and I know last year I put in some. Well, it was bare roots strawberries, and it was a mistake, really. I forgot to put it on some of them. I thought, well, I'll do half and half, and you really could see the difference.
Yeah, no, I've done quite a few side by sides with it where I've used it on half a tray and not on the other half, and you really can notice a difference. You get much thicker, healthier roots.
Yeah, Rob was just saying he uses the Q4 as well. Yeah. So I think that answers your question. Basket wanted to make sure. Yeah, we've all got our Amazon baskets.
Yeah, there's loads of other brands out there, but a lot of them you're paying a fortune and you get a tiny little pot. It's the Q4. It's reasonably priced, and it does. It's not going to break the bank buying it.
No, I think I got like a plastic tub of it. It wasn't silly money, and it just lasts. Oh, actually, saying that, I got one for you here, Jimmy. I've now got me mycorrhizal pepper pot, but it comes with multiple hole sizes as you turn it. So depending on what I'm spreading my mycorrhizal on, different holes. So it's a little Brucey bonus. Because Jane, you've watched a lot of the Chris Evans onion videos, haven't you? I believe bigger than yours, Jimmy. Of course it is. A visionary. Don't know, visionary. Make sure you don't. Yeah, Chippy tea. I've done worse than that in the past. Making tea with sugar and with salt. That's not nice. Right, so under lights for quite a while. Where will they go next? In as much as come sort of end of February time, where are they going to go? Or what time do they go into their final beds, if you like?
Depends where they're going. If they're going, like I said, I'm going to put some inside and I'm going to put some outside. Obviously, I've got the ones that I'm doing for the show as well, so
Yeah.
they're going to take priority. But I have made a raised bed in the polytunnel, and I'll have a raised bed outside in the garden dedicated for them. But last year I grew them all in pots, and as you know, the biggest one that I grew was in a 20-litre pot, so they don't need all that much space.
They don't. You see a lot of people say, they need 35, 40-litre pots, even bigger. You don't think that's the case then?
If you're going for a £10 onion, do you know what I mean? But I don't see the Ailsays would reach that size.
Right. What do you think we'll get to then? Do you reckon somebody will grow a 10-pounder?
I don't think so.
No?
Not with the Ailsay, no.
No. You could have lied. Keep everybody's interest up. But then, last year, the
You
ones
never
I had...
know, we might do, but, £6, that's a hell of an achievement, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? I mean, I was over the moon last year when I grew one that was just over £3.
That's it, and you think double the size of that, that's stuff. It's massive, you know what I mean? It's...
Rob reckons £6 would be the biggest.
Yeah, I agree with Rob there, but that's £6-7.
Yeah. Anyone had trouble getting small pots, Mark? Singly, yes, but our local garden centre, they had the 15 cell trays, and I just cut them up because it was like five of those trays for £6. I don't know, I forgot what. Yeah, so these are just the 15 cell trays cut down. So that was the cheapest option for me. Rob's done a £5 one. Yeah. Be happy with £2. No, you won't, Sean. You know it. Did you used to be in the army, Sean? I got a feeling you're an army chap. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd imagine they'd be alright in 15 litres. The only thing is with using a smaller pot, is you need to feed more often. Once the feed's gone from the pot, you either top dress or you feed regularly. As long as you keep on top of the feeding, it should be fine.
What are you using for feed then, Don?
Well, bit of a mixture. At the moment, obviously, liquid seaweed. And then you've got the liquid grow more. But I tend to feed the soil, not the plant. if you know what I mean. I use plenty of organic matter in the beds when I plant them, and halfway through the season I'll give them a good top dressing and an extra mulch. But if they do look like they need a bit of a feed, I'll give them either Sting and LT or just anything high nitrogen, really.
Is it right that it's sort of nitrogen to start with when they're putting a lot of leaf up, and then more potash towards the end of it when they're starting to bulb?
Well, technically an onion's not really a fruit, is it? So it's not really fruiting. They don't want the potassium as much. They're more of a nitrogen lover, aren't they?
Yeah. Jenny's got a good a question here. I mean, she's saying about watering and hers keep flopping over. How often do you water it? And is it always from the bottom?
Whenever they feel dry to the touch, or whenever the pot's light enough, give them a good soaking. But you don't want them sopping wet, otherwise you're going to cause them to rot. It's, 5-10 minutes sat in a tray of water is usually more than adequate, I find, anyway.
Yeah. Another thing, Jenny, you might find helpful is a lot of us put vermiculite over the top, and that, for me anyway, I don't know what everybody else thinks, that helps prevent the tops drying out so quickly.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Don?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you can, it makes it easier to keep the tops dry, which stops the plant from rotting off.
Oh, Ian's going to use the Canna A and B. So you putting those in the those automatic watering pots, are you, Ian? Or what are they called?
As long as you get the feeding ratio right and stick to the schedule, should be all right. But I used the Atami last year, and it was just a lot more hassle than what it is. You've got to put so many different things in, certain amount of each different component, and at the end of the day, you can get that all in one. It's what you pay for the Canna or the Atami or anything like that. It gets expensive when you need all the nutrients, because just the A and B on its own aren't really that good.
Yeah, Autopot. That's what I was talking about, Ian. Oh, great. So that'll be really interesting, because I know up at the show, Canna were really pushing the Autopots with the A and B. So you should grow some big onions with that. There's Autopots or Quad Grow. So is that two different brands, is it, Jaggy? Are those pots big enough to grow an onion in? It's a good question. This is pickled onions. Yeah, that's a good point, Kez. That they need a really sunny position, don't they? Onions. Well, that's what I've led to understand.
Well, you don't. If they're sat in water, they'll rot. It's that the whole thing is at the soil level. The bottom of it is in the soil. It's if it's wet, if it's not getting enough air and daylight, it's gonna rot, isn't it?
Check the quad grows out after you're live. Yeah, I mean, this year I got to be a bit careful, because I've got I put down a deposit on a greenhouse up at the show, so I got to be a bit careful of what I spend. I got to pay for that at the end of February. So I think this year be the growing in a decent sized pot, perhaps in a bed. And I was thinking I might, because I was a bit worried that growing in a polytunnel that they'll get a bit hot. But you grew yours in a tunnel, didn't you, Don?
Yeah, I've always grown mine in a polytunnel. All my giant ones have been grown in polytunnel. I did a few in the big raised bed out the back, but the best ones have always been in the polytunnel. But I've got good airflow in the bottom around the bottom of my both the tunnels really.
Well, he's here, right, pear plot. Hi. But 10 quad grows, but only grow toms in them. And Richard Taylor's here. We've got to say hello to Richard because he reckons everybody passes him by. So we're giving you a shout out, Richard. Not faffing about. Just seed, tray, repot when they need it. Bit of whatever feed I have around. I wonder if that's perhaps the case sometimes, that we mollycoddle some of these things a bit too much.
Yeah, definitely. It's once they're past the pricking out stage, they're away then. They'll do themselves. Like I say, keep on top of potting them on, feeding. Can't go too far wrong, can you? It's
Yeah, because I know last year I had some that I pretty much forgot, and they were in that stupid bloody out sunny polytunnel that I've got just tucked in the corner. And I sort of watered them every now and again. Then all of a sudden I went in, I went, shit, look at the bloody size of them. They just seem to, at certain points, they just seem to go away.
yeah, thrive or die. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, once you pass the pricking out stage, that's the hardest part. It just depends on the seed from there on out, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, Sean's got a point there. The plant has enough to get going from seed. Well, that's pretty much true, isn't it? Your seed compost, if you look at it like, say, Johnny's number one, for argument's sake, it's very low in nutrients, isn't it? Because you're getting them to a stage and then pricking them out and putting them into something a bit better.
Yeah, well, that's why I tend to use spent compost in the early stages, because it's too easy to overfeed them. It's easy to add more. It's hard to notice a difference once you've overfed them. You might think you've underfed them. If you start with nothing in it and you know there's nothing in it,
yeah,
you know where you stand. I've had composts that are that high in feed. The second you put your plants into it, it kills them.
Really. Yeah. I see Mark saying he still has sleepless nights. He has onion anxiety. He thinks about them first thing and last thing at night. Well, that's a bit like me, because the spare room here, that's sort of on the middle floor of the house. I come down from the bedroom, and the first thing I do in the morning is go in here and make sure the lights have come on and all the rest of it, and they're not. But just going back a few steps, I think getting the watering right for me is probably the hardest part.
Yeah, because it's every day the plant changes. As the plant gets bigger, it needs more. So it's no point saying, "Oh yeah, I do it every week, once a week." Within a week's time, you might be doing it twice a week. In another week's time, you're doing it 4 times a week.
Yeah.
It changes every day. I always go off how heavy the pot is.
Yeah, because I've seen somebody actually weigh them.
I wouldn't go that far.
But what he was saying is, if you weigh it and get a feel for that weight, your muscle memory will sort of remember that weight to a degree, and you'll know if it's light and dry or heavy and saturated.
But your onion's going to be getting heavier every day as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's. But you can just tell. You know, if you're ever in doubt as well, you know, always stick your finger in the pot. 2 inches down, if it's dry, you know you need water.
Yeah. We've all done that a few times. Oh, the other thing you was on about was supports and everything for holding them up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what route everyone goes down. You know, once the plants are a bit more larger, yeah, okay, we've all got these sort of clips and sticks for now, but when we're talking big established plants, you know, there's a few different ways of supporting them. I'm planning on making my own. I'm sure you're planning on making your own. It's seen quite a few different methods of doing it. But they definitely need it. You want to keep those leaves out of the soil, especially the wet part of the soil.
Yeah. So what's that? Are you still waiting for me seed to arrive? Yeah. I tell you what, I have ordered so much seed and sent so much seed out. It's unreal. I think I ought to take out shares in Foster's. Wait the pots, yeah. Got my green kits, but notice Salisbury makes his own. Yeah, I mean, I made my own last time, Linda, but what I found is with those green clips, you can move it up and get it just where you want it to hold the leaves nicely. If you do a one that's short, then you've got to make another one that's longer, and then you'll find, where I found, the bottom leaf will come out and then miss it, and then you're carefully trying to get it inside. Whereas those plastic ones, you can just unclip it, put your leaf back in, and clip it back up again.
Yeah, I prefer the plastic clips a lot of the time as well. It's like say you've got to move them or adjust them all the time. It's just easier in the long run.
Well, Jimmy's £10 is going to be made. Yeah, you got Temu ones, Jimmy. I must admit, the ring looks all right. I'm not too sure about the legs on them. I can't see them holding up a £10 onion.
No, definitely not. They might be all right 1 or 2 stakes high, but once you get
Yeah,
to 4
well,
or 5,
you had about 20 high there. It was like a bloody Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm Mad Dog. That's a new one on me. Yeah, I mean, those ones that Duncan uses, those plastic supports, they just work, don't they? It's simple as that.
Yeah, I've seen a few different sorts. There's ones that look like a little peg, but I found these ones work the best, and I've seen quite a few people that know what they're doing using them.
Yeah.
I've been using them a couple of years now. I definitely recommend them.
He's ordered 10 broom handles and 40 foot of rope. Brilliant. Can't use the peony wire cages for them. You could use whatever, but anything wire is stationary. I know you can push it up and down to a degree, but those clips, you can move it a foot if need be. That's the only reason I use it. When they are bigger. Yeah, a lot of people use the. You can get like those plant supports that are like half moon, don't they? And then just put two together.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of trying to make something with blue PVC piping. Try and drill some holes in them, make some loops, put pipes, put some bamboo canes through them.
Yeah.
Something along that lines. Make it up as I go along.
Yeah, because I'm sort of hoping to make up a new onion bed this year with a bit of a cover on it, just to keep the worst of the rain off.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 toothpicks and 40 foot shoelace. Yeah. Another thing is how many of these big onions do you think we should aim to end up with, so it's not so that we can look after them properly?
Again, that all depends on how much space you're willing to dedicate to them. How much of an area have you got that's available? You know, it's like I say, I'm going to be prioritizing the larger ones, but I've got 20 of the ALC pricked out. If I plant out over half of them, I'll be happy.
Yeah, so about 10. Yeah.
10.
Hello, Jim. Jim's here. Down to earth with Jim. Nice to see you, Jim. How's it going filling all those raised beds? So Rob made his support bending them around the bucket. That's quite a good idea. But there's loads of different ways of making up the supports, and I think, like you said earlier, once they get to a certain stage, that's about the height they're going to be in it. And as long as you've made them big enough just to support those leaves.
Yeah, but where you first, once you get so big, your flags will bend. Once you know where that bend is, that's your height where your support's going to be. It's going to be around there throughout the rest of the growing season. Then
yeah. Are the giant onions edible? Yeah. Yes. I stupidly ate my biggest one last year because I didn't know how to put them back to seed. So I've now not learned it, but I'm trying to do it. So I think with five ones that still hadn't rotted, or not rotted, but were still in a good firm state, I'm trying to put those away to seed. So that's.
I think the bigger ones, they're a lot sweeter. They're a lot nicer. I think they're not as strong tasting, but they're still nice for eating.
Yeah.
If you chop them up and freeze them, they last all year.
So what soil is good for onions? Is EcoThrive good? Because that's what I use for my other plants.
I've never heard of it.
Not EcoThrive, no, not me. But I mean, for bog standard onions, it's pretty much just a.
You don't need anything special.
Soil in good condition, isn't it? Sort of lots of fun. I mean, last year,
It doesn't hold on to too much moisture, as long as it's not clayey, claggy, it's plenty of air in it. They don't need anything special. Do you know what I mean? I've grown them in cocoa. I've grown them in 50-pound bags of soil and 5-pound bags of soil, and they grow just as well. It's,
I feel like I'm missing stuff now because people are laughing. I don't know what they've talked about. Loose soil, not heavy clay. I found. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I grew mine in beds last year. They got it's 9-inch wood and the bed, but that had a lot of horse manure in the early spring, or well, late autumn, early spring, and then because it was a completely new garden, I bought in a load of bulk soil compost mix and put that on top, and that's seemed to work pretty good, really. But I think this year I will be growing them in containers, but I've yet to decide what I'm actually going to put in it.
well, if you're like me and you're indecisive and you never know where anything's going to grow, or you change your mind last minute as to where you want to put it, in containers is 100% the best way to go. I move my stuff around that polytunnel like there's no tomorrow, but because I'm so high up off the ground, I have to do it in containers. I've got no choice in the back polytunnel, really.
Did you feed? Rob said, "Did you feed him tribute?" Yeah, I must admit, me and Rob had a few good nights. Yeah, it is quite weird actually meeting somebody that you just see on a screen. Yeah, we had some good, but
you can't not get on with Rob, can you?
no, he's one of the nicest chap, and he is pretty much a professional drinker. I was trying to go in there and stick some beers in his neck and get some tips out of him, but no, I was the one falling off the chair. Going down the bucket method. Cocoa substrate and cocoa feed. Is that okay, Ian? It's a competition, mate. Whatever. This isn't like the kids going to school and everybody gets a rosette for turning up to join in the race. Whoever puts in the best effort and does the best job wins the prize. Oh,
if you're going to go out and buy cocoa substrate,
I just got to go and get some in a minute. Hold that a minute.
Yeah, if you're going to go down the cocoa feed route, you might as well use cocoa substrate, as otherwise they don't. The feed won't work in soil. It'll only work in coir. That's what they're designed for. They're not designed to work with other substrates. So.
All right, I'm back.
And the prize is Pete's house. He's giving away his house for the prize to the one who grows a big stallion. They were just asking what the prize for the biggest stallion was, Pete.
All right. Well, we've got rosettes. I got them sorted, except they turned up today. Instead of first, second, and third, we got a horse. So if somebody wants first, second, and third for the horses, I've got rosettes. So
right,
yeah,
you've got to get one with a donkey on it now for the last place.
Yeah, but they're going to replace them with first, second, and third. But that's just my luck. Yeah, the prize it's being made, so it's not like a bog standard trophy as such, and there'll be one for each class, the grow lights and team no lights. So no horsing about, lads, sorry, but yeah, it's in hand, and some of it's the other side of the world, so it's got to get to me. So yeah, I bet you can't guess what it is, Bond.
I thought we were going to pick one pub in the country and all meet there for the presentation.
Yeah. Oh, Ali's. Sorry, I didn't see Ali's here. Brilliant. I saw her on Grow Up with Danny last night.
Paparazzi, yeah, why not? I'd be up for that. If we do it around this area, I won't have to travel as far.
If I want to come last, can I please have a rosette? You can have the rosette with a horse on it. Yes, presentation. Come to Glasgow, lads. Yeah, we'll all meet down the docks.
No, I wouldn't do it there. I'd sooner go to Glasgow than local to me.
How's your out sunny polytunnel holding up? God, I hate that thing. It's just a storage shed for all my building projects. That's all it is. It's still up, but yeah, anybody who buys one of those out sunny tunnels, they're cheap, but they're not. Because if you just buy one and put it up as it is, it will blow away. I don't care what you do. Yeah, but I've put doors. I put a door one end, solid door one end. I've put a door shape and a top vent the other shape. Every loop in between it, I've put a door frame to support every joint, and I've V'd off to that to every joint, so it looks like the hull of a ship inside.
Yeah.
It leaks. The airflow in it is diabolical. And
that's it. Well, I buried one that I had at nearly 2 foot, half the frame, and it didn't do very well. It lasted a couple of years, but I'd put a new cover on it. I'd buried it. What I got with it didn't last a matter of months. Like say, you try all sorts to try and support them, and making a new door frame, and they're just crap.
Yeah, and you'll have to spend at least the same amount again to stop it blowing away.
Yeah,
and
where you might as well just buy something.
Exactly, and I mean that one you've built is like a brick shithouse, isn't it? That ain't going nowhere.
No, is it? Heck? And I built that for under £300. It's buy something like that. You'd probably be looking £900.
Yeah,
just to buy one, that wouldn't it?
A lot of condensation in my puddle. It's a proper one too. Was that during the summer or at the moment, Jackie?
And have you put the cover on the right way around? Because I'm supposed to have the one in the back is supposed to be an anti-drip cover, which I didn't know that at the time, and I think I put mine on upside down because I get a lot of drips on the ceiling of it, and I think that's because I put it on the wrong way around.
Both, Pete. Yeah, I the only I don't really know. You can buy a spray to go on the inside of it to stop condensation. I know First Tunnels do something that you paint on the inside and that stops it. The biggest trouble I have with condensation in mine is, like, if it's hot in there, I open the doors, and if they're open for quite a while, the change in temperature will really bring it down. But yeah.
See if it's supposed to be an anti-drip one as well. I'm not sure if they've stopped selling them as labeling them as anti-drip anymore, because I don't know if they just didn't work or if it only lasts so long that it's guaranteed that it'll be anti-drip or what. I don't know. But like I say, there is sprays that you can get. There's things that you can get, but airflow would stop it, I suppose. But as the warmer air hits the cold air, it's going to condensate, isn't it? Can't really stop it, can you?
No, as Jackie's saying,
There's a lot of humidity in there as well, isn't there? There's no ventilation, there's nowhere for it to go. It's going to condensate, isn't it?
yes, yeah. Yeah, that's very true. If the air can't flow as much, and I mean condensation pretty much is just different temperatures colliding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cold hitting the hot, isn't it? It's
cold hitting the hot with a high humidity. So I don't know.
We've created that barrier between them. It's got nowhere to go, is it? If we had better airflow in there, then it wouldn't be condensating. Which I've noticed a lot of people that have got big polytunnels have got big fans that are constantly on.
So if you've not good ventilation, would you say don't put your onions in there? No.
Well, throughout the summer, it's not too bad, is it? We don't have the cold as bad, so it doesn't condensate as bad. But in the summer, you've got your doors open, you've got your windows open. All depends really on the weather, doesn't it? It's, like I say, I get condensation in there. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect the tomatoes. They don't like to be wet. The condensation doesn't affect them. So why would it be any different with the onions?
Yeah. Is there an extreme of temperature that onions don't like going over?
Going over, say 20, 28. I wouldn't put anything over that. But it's all that's going to happen if they get too hot is they're going to bolt early on.
Yeah. Well, Jim's asking, anyone ever grown their onions to maturity in a polytunnel? Well, you grew your biggest one this year in your tunnel, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done it a few years in a row now. They seem to do fine. They're finishing up by, they're done by August. Do you know what I mean? They're not really still growing at September, October time, are they? When it gets the worst part of the year, I found they do really well in the polytunnel.
Yours are in pots. Do you move them around to different places in the tunnel, or do you keep them by the door, or for better ventilation, or what?
I'm always moving everything about. It's like I said earlier, never happy with where anything is. Always decide to change my mind, or I tend to do it so I'm watering on one side, and then once they've been watered, I'll move them over to the other side, and I'll just sort of keep them rotating like that.
Yeah.
And then they're not usually sat in one place from start to finish if they're in pots.
Yeah, I'm still a bit undecided of where mine are going to finish up. I must admit, cracky, that's an hour we've been on here.
It's not of finding what works best for you. It's, you know, when you think about it, people like the likes of John Salisbury and that have been growing onions for 20, 30 years. So they've made what works for them where they are. You know, to someone who's not grown onions that much, you need to find how it works where you are and what works best for you. It's, you know, try them in a few different places, try some in pots, try some in the ground. You know, obviously the ones you put in the ground, you can't move them about after you've planted them, can you?
It's trying different things. I know Jimmy said earlier, has anybody else put any more seeds away? Well, I've started some again just last week, and I've got them. There's a set of lights there. I've got them on 24 hours, and as soon as they come up, I'm going to have the fan on 24 hours and see if that makes a difference to the plants. And I'm also going to prick them out a bit earlier because I've left mine. I think yours were 5 weeks, and you've just pricked yours out, haven't you? And I'm going to do mine tomorrow now.
Yeah, I'll be putting mine on probably next week. I think I'm just going to leave it for this week. Robert, your onions aren't going to go anywhere, mate. They're still there.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been on here enough. That's probably enough for most people.
No,
so,
don't blame
just a massive thanks to everybody who's joined in. It's been brilliant, and it's you guys that are making this so much fun. And yeah, just thank you from all over the world, especially for Ali, who's posted seeds to people in America and all the rest of it. It's bonkers. Yeah. Should I buy a fan? Yes. No, nobody will tell you no. Everybody will say buy a fan.
Should have already bought a fan.
Yeah, well,
maybe I'm a couple of weeks behind you all, but I will catch up. Don't you worry.
Yeah, that's the trouble. He's always got a way. Just everything just works. Like I say, it's finding what works for you, isn't it? And trying different things, different ways. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think an hour's enough for anybody of us. Probably be back to something like normal next week. I'll do them this week, but I'll show that next week of putting mine on, because I probably do it a bit different to everybody else, and that's just the way it is. But massive thanks for coming on, Dunk. Really appreciate that.
No problem at any time, Pete. And like I say, thanks very much for doing this challenge.
Well,
hopefully everyone
from me, it was only a way of finding out how to do it better.
Could always be better. Always learning every day. We learn something every day.
Yeah, show and tell. Funny story about that. Years ago, at school, you used to bring something from home, and you had to do a talk on it. Well, believe it or not, I took a shotgun. Can you imagine taking a shotgun into a school now and doing a talk on it? Yeah.
You wouldn't be sat here talking now.
Yeah. Here we are. This is how you break it. These are the cartridges. Yeah. Right. That's it. Then. I think we've kept these good people long enough, especially on a Friday night. I'm surprised Rob hasn't gone down the pub. But thanks for joining in, and thanks for
Probably
making
in the
this.
pub watching.
Yeah, just thanks for making this such a fun thing to be doing, and look forward to any of your updates. Look forward to seeing them as always, and I'll catch you. I don't know how to turn this thing off. Actually, how do you stop it live? Just press the big X at the top, I guess.
Yeah,
Boom.
and then there'll be a power button. Yeah.
Cheers and gone. Bosh.
Right.
Cheers. End stream. End.